it's interesting because some of the character like concepts I had, one specifically, one of the characters in the story I was working on for something that was completely different, and I mean, I had the backstory done and all that, and then it just kind of fit into the story, and that we found that a lot. Like we would find things that would just make sense, that would fit in the story, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Mm-hmm. It's nice when that finally like breaks and like, oh wait, this can come together, and that'll, it starts to feel very easy after a long time of it feeling like not very easy at all.
Oh, totally. You're like looking at a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle, but once you finally get that first corner going, you can kind of build out from there, and that's kind of how it felt. And Ryan laughs when I say this, but I cheated when I looked for artists. I went to Kickstarter and looked for books that already had their artists and had issues done by artists that they could say, yeah, he did this on Kickstarter. Because then, it's always can be a crapshoot finding a guy who draws well, who can hit deadlines, who can do time, all that stuff. So, in Kickstarter, if they're putting it on there, these writers, these creators, all these Kickstarter launchers know that these guys are getting the job done. So I thought that was a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
Go with what people know, that people that are successful, people that launchers have worked with, which is what we were going to do.
Yeah.
I also do my panel layouts, and I don't know, like I said, I've only wrote what I wrote. I've never gotten into the creating comic books or anything, from other artists and writers. But I always do panel layouts. I found it seems to flow a lot easier. And I'm sure you being a writer and an artist, you let me know if I'm right or wrong about this. But, if I lay out the panel, like a long panel or a wide panel, and I lay it off, and I'll do it all on grid paper and I'll send it to the artist too. I think that helps a lot with the flow of it, because he kind of sees, I'm going from one panel. It's just a headshot. It's a small half panel, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Talking heads. And I think that really helps flow a little bit with that. Oh yeah. The flow is a big thing you got to look at. I think, like I said, I couldn't draw to save my life, but I think if you can get that flow into the artist's head and kind of that way, it kind of sees, if it's a long panel, how to lay it out. Then you go into the next one beside the trailer or something, instead of the long panel of the trailer, what's happening, that kind of thing. I think if you can kind of paint that picture in his mind, I think it helps greatly. And with me, and Ryan can attest to this, I'll lay out the panels for him and I'll do all that for him. But in my descriptives, there's a building there. I want them to have artistic license to kind of, but when I get into an action scene, jump kick from the side, long panel, you need to have this and this and that kind of thing. But I'd like to give them the freedom, the artist, because just put the picture in their head and see what to come up with. Sometimes it's really wonderful.
You guys also, I think you got the Project We Love designation, right?
Yeah, we were really surprised by that, weren't we, Ryan? That was
absolutely. I couldn't believe it, and then as I went did a little bit of study about the projects we love, I mean, fantastic. Like how it was something that we were really, really surprised about, and I mean proud of it nonetheless. But still, it was like that wasn't even on our radar. Like we hadn't even discussed it.
No. We hadn't reached out to anybody at Kickstarter or done anything. We'd backed a few projects, to see how they did shipping, that kind of thing. Yeah. We wanted to see the writing, the artists, obviously. And it was a very pleasant surprise. So
it was shocking. Like we since it was on our radar, we just woke up one morning and it's like, hey, we're at the top of the list. Yeah. And for the back, and that's the biggest thing, is it puts you at the top of the queue for what's new and what's hot. So like that helped us a little bit, but I mean, to quantify it, I couldn't tell you. Like
I was going to ask if you saw a bump.
After we got it, we did actually.
We did, yeah.
It wasn't like a huge bump, but it was like people that we didn't know were.
We had 3 guys buy the top tier package, so that was pretty. We were pretty happy about that because and I think they came through Kickstarter, because how you got your little where they come through, and so that was we were pretty happy about that, and it's really shocking to us because me and Ryan are not social media guys. We're old school, and like I didn't even have a Facebook until we built one for the comics. All these algorithms and it's Greek to me. So